What is up, guys? Just dropped off my dad at the airport. I'm actually really stoked about the positive reaction of the video I posted yesterday and the one before, the street speed call out. I've been trying to show more of my personality, be a little bit more goofy on camera. I've been trying to keep it pretty professional on the channel so that you guys trust my opinions when I do car reviews, but I think I need to spice it up a little bit more and have some more fun in the vlogs. Right now, headed to my P.O. box, got a package delivery. I'm excited to see what it is. Honestly, as long as it's not anthrax, I'll be happy. What do you guys think of the Bentley Bentayga? I kind of like the way it looks, but I don't know if I would rock something like that. It's a little girly. Having driven one though, they are so damn fast for an SUV. 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. What that feels like with a vehicle that weighs that much, off the charts. Oh, it's RD Beards. Come back, I need to shave. Alejandro. Oh my God, that's a 599 GTO. Holy shit. Come back, come back, come back. We're at the UPS store. Let's go see what's inside. Damn, I got a big package. It was so embarrassing. I go in there, I'm like, oh, I got a package delivered. The guy looks and he goes, oh shoot, I gotta verify this. It actually looks like it was under the previous P.O. box owner's name. And I'm like, oh, nobody loves me. But I did get a sick package, so I'm gonna look at it when I get back. All right, back at the pad. This is a very odd shaped package, but I am pretty excited considering this is the first package I've received from a fan in California. I really do want to deck out my apartment with a bunch of stuff from you guys. So if you think of anything and it makes you think of vehicle virgins and you don't need it, send it my way. Boom, address right there. Also, in the description below. Let's open this thing. I'm really good at opening boxes. Ah! What on earth? No. No way is that real. A box of smoked salmon? Holy. How is this still? No, no way. It's gotta be a prank. It's gotta be a prank. If this is freaking smoked salmon, I'm gonna be stoked from Alaska. Chris Williams, killing it. All right, what the hell is this? No effing way. Dude, Alaskan smoked salmon. That's the coolest thing I've ever gotten. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to the topic of today's video, shall we? 5 things I hate about my Lamborghini Huracan. Now, I've owned this car for the last, I don't want to get this wrong, maybe 11 months? Wow, it's almost been an entire year. And I've driven the car 13,000 miles. I have absolutely loved it. I've had one issue with the car the entire time. It was related to the brake lines, and honestly, it's never happened to any other Huracan. It cost 300 bucks to fix, wasn't a big deal. So the only thing I've had to do is oil changes. It's been an absolute dream owning this car, but of course, there are a few things that kind of annoy me about the car. So let's go out and drive it, and I'll tell you about them. So a lot of you guys realize that there is a pretty sizable dent on the passenger side of my Mercedes. That is true. Unfortunately, it seems like somebody opened their car door into the passenger side door of the Mercedes. If one of you owns a shop that does paintless dent removal, I'll give you a shout out in exchange for fixing this thing. I think it should be pretty easy, but it definitely looks absolutely hideous. Now there's another problem. There's 2 problems with my cars. There's that dent, and then unfortunately, I was hanging out with Alex. I was driving too close behind his Huracan, got giant meaty tires that are very sticky, spit up a rock, and left a nice little crack on the windshield here. Now, I think it's fixable, at least stoppable, before the windshield completely shatters, but I really don't want to have to get a new one because it's $6,500, and of course it'll be covered by insurance, but I don't really trust someone taking off the windshield of the Huracan. All right, I think this will do as a good spot to talk about the Huracan. That's a gorgeous view out there. Let's turn this thing off. Good God, my car is incredibly filthy. I need to get that thing washed. I need to go back over to Alex's house and we can use all his stuff. Freaking love the foam cannons. All right, so here's the first problem I have with the Lamborghini Huracan, and that is the key. Now this key is the same for all Lamborghinis, whether you get an Aventador SV. Let me show you what this looks like, and then I'll show you why I hate it. So here's the key, nice and simple. It says Lamborghini, you can barely tell, in black there. On the other side, there's some buttons. And then really the only reason you can tell this is a Lamborghini is because it's got this little bowl right here. Now why do I hate that? Well, it just so happens that it is the exact same key as an Audi A4. That's right, you can actually take off the top part of an A4 key and actually stick it onto this. They are the exact same product. In fact, the Audi actually looks cooler, and something like an RS7, it actually says RS right here in color, so you can tell what it is and it differentiates it from the other cars. The fact that you've got a same key on a $250,000 car as a $35,000, $40,000 car, That's just stupid. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on, dude, it's a Lamborghini. Do you really care about the key? The truth is, no, I don't really care about the key. But when you're paying that kind of money, you do want something special. When you get a Rolls Royce, it comes with an awesome key. The new BMW 7 Series, if you get the key upgrade, that's awesome as well. Even Ferrari, although they're super boring, at least they're bright red and you can tell that it's a Ferrari key. The Lamborghini just absolutely blends in, and Lamborghini isn't really about blending in. I don't know if you can tell with this Verde Mantis color. It'd be pretty badass actually if you could get a paint matched key. I'm sure you can do that aftermarket, but Lamborghini, offer it. Next has to do with the front lifting system. This car has an optional front lift. Mandatory. If you get a Huracan, please get the front lift, otherwise you're gonna be so mad when you scrape everywhere. It activates incredibly fast, super easy to do. Let's hop in and I'll show you how to activate the lift. All right, so to activate the lift, you come over here. This is where all the controls in the Huracan are. You got window, lift, traction control, hazards, parking sensors, then a button that nobody freaking has, and then the other window. So activate lift here. Then on the screen, you get an indicator that lets you know that it's either rising or lowering. I kind of wish they had a different indicator, whether it was going up or down. Although if you do look outside, sometimes you can tell that the car is raising or lowering. Other times you can't. When it stops flashing and it's still up under your display, that means that it is fully raised. So what do I hate about the lifting system? Well, let's say you're pulling in after a lovely date. You've got to lift the front of the car to get into your garage or your driveway, and then you want to put it back down because leaving the car with the lift up just isn't good for the lifting system. So as you're putting it back down, your date decides to open the door. Well, what happens when you open the door is it cancels the lifting system, and then even though it's going back down, it pauses for a second and then decides, nope, I want to go back upwards. Then you have to explain to your date that, no, babe, you can't open the door while the lift on my Lamborghini is going down. And you sound like a total asshole. So what would be cool is if they could just reprogram it to one, not care if the door is open, but two, if you're in the process of going down and the door opens, sure, you can stop the lift, but then when the door closes, resume it going down. Don't have it go back up, because when it goes back up, then you gotta wait till that finishes, then you gotta go back down, and sometimes you don't know if it's up or down, and it is a huge pain in the ass. Now the next problem I have with the Huracan, and this is a serious issue, it's actually a safety issue, and it's happened to me as well as my friend Alex when we were out on the track, is that the stock brake fluid boils far too easily. If it's hot outside, you're ripping the car around and you're hard on the brakes. Now this is a Huracan with carbon ceramic brakes. The replacement cost for these carbon ceramics is $35,000. So you'd expect, clearly, you have reliable and powerful braking. But the problem is when it's really hot out and you do it repeatedly, the brake fluid can boil. And when it boils, bye-bye brake fluid, then you have a very mushy pedal feel, and sometimes the car won't stop whatsoever. My poor friend Alex, he was out on the racetrack, tried to stop, car wouldn't slow down whatsoever, went off the track. Thankfully, in a cement area, there was nothing there and it was totally safe. But I lost my brakes as well when I was in Monterey Car Week. After ripping through the canyons, it was really hot out, I couldn't slow the car down and I literally almost crashed. Let's open the front trunk here. Right here, you've got the washer fluid, and then over to the right is the brake fluid reservoir. I had to open this and replace it with fluid multiple times while it was boiling off. Why do I still have the wing in there? That's just a huge waste of space, god damn it. After I got my brake fluid replaced, it's never had that issue again. Now, right when it happened to Alex's car, the techs there at the racetrack suggested getting it replaced with higher performance brake fluid, then that wouldn't happen. Why on earth is that an issue with a performance sports car? I have no idea. But Lamborghini, definitely do something about that one. Another issue I have has to do with the driving modes. Now you'll notice a lot of these are super pedantic, and for the internet commenters out there who have never driven a supercar and go, I don't care that it has any problems because race car, well, in part, you are right. None of these matter that much. That's why I still absolutely love this thing and drive it every day. But honestly, when you do own and drive a supercar like this all the time, it's the little flaws that you do notice, and there are always things that can be changed and can be improved upon for the next generation. You gotta imagine when Lamborghini came out with the Gallardo, they probably thought the e-gear transmission was really good. Well, they were wrong. This transmission is really good. Now let's go ahead and turn it on and I'll show you another one of the things that I really don't like about the car. When you start the car up, it shows you this display. You've got the tachometer on the left, and then you've got information about, well, currently radio, what's up, Chris Brown, on the right. Then you've got your gas gauge over here, temperature outside, as well as what time it is. It also starts the car up in Strata mode, a mode that every single Huracan owner I've talked to, as well as myself, never ever uses. So every time you go for a drive, you turn the vehicle on, then you pull it down into Sport or Corsa. If you put it just into Sport, it's actually still in automatic mode. You have to put it in manual by clicking this button here in order to get it to not shift for itself. I never have it in automatic mode, so I've got to do that every time. The shortcut I've found is you put it in Corsa first, that doesn't have an automatic mode, and then you pop it back into Sport, and then boom, you're good to go. But the displays, nobody I know uses this display. Now if you go down here, press and hold down, you've got another display no one would ever use. Let's do it again. Now you've got the full tachometer display. You can press and hold up, turns it to speed. These are the two displays that everyone's going to be using. Unfortunately, you have to do this every single time. You've got to put it into Sport or Corsa, make sure that it's in manual mode, make the display go to the full tachometer, when all the default presets are things that people would never use. It would be so easy for Lamborghini to save your settings or have one button you can click to do all of it at once, instead of having to click 1, 2, 3, press and hold, yeah, 5 buttons in a row every time you start the car after clicking the start-stop button. Last but not least is its maneuverability around town and on the highway. Fantastic car to drive, but the blind spots over your shoulder and rear are much worse than its competitors, 458, 488, etc. When looking over your right shoulder, you're blocked by this giant pillar and zero visibility. Now, I wish they would just have blind spot monitoring to pop up right here, something they have in much less expensive cars. That would pretty much solve the problem. Also, the rear window, glass engine cover, gorgeous. It's tiny. Interestingly enough, they actually made the rear window and the visibility of the Huracan Performante significantly better than the Huracan. So I'm thinking when they come out with a refresh of this car, it will actually be improved. But if you look over your shoulder, the seat pretty much blocks this window here, and you can't see anything. So lane changes are as follow. Indicate, floor it, whip the steering wheel, pray. If you crashed, well, then you failed. If you didn't, you got lucky. Why does visibility matter on a supercar? Once again, in certain aspects it doesn't, but in others, this is a very daily drivable car. And if you're out on the freeway, a Huracan attracts a lot of attention. So people will be driving up next to you to take pictures. Now, if you want to change lanes, it's important that you don't change lanes into somebody who came up next to you flying out of nowhere to take pictures. So often it's actually really scary driving this car in normal environments. It's not scary whatsoever going balls to the wall on the track or in the back roads when you're in a single lane, but just the typical day-to-day stuff is kind of frightening. So there you have it, guys. I absolutely love this car, but it's not without its flaws. Now, the flaws on this are so minimal compared to pretty much any other car out there that's why I love this damn thing so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video. But wait, there's more. See this ticket here? You cannot reach toll booths, ticket booths, parking garages, or anything. You basically have to get out of the car or open the door to get in and out of a toll booth or parking garage.